A pleasant good morning to you all. This is Mr. Rao. Today, I come with a very interesting part of your human digestive system. So, actually, in the previous class, I explained about the basic concept of nutrition and nutrients. Then, what is the role of these nutrients in our body? Then what are the functions, vital functions carried out by these nutrients? Thereafter, based on the amount, how these nutrients are made it into macromolecules as well as the micromolecules, based on its a chemical nature, how these nutrients are made it into the organic and inorganic nutrients. About all the things, the basic concept regarding the nutrition we studied in the previous session. And in today's session, I'd like to explain all the parts that come across in your digestive system in a flowchart way, thereafter here diagrammatic way. Thereafter, I do start explaining about each and every part in detailed way. Coming to the human digestive system, it has got the two important parts. So majorly categorized into two important parts. Of the two important parts, the first one is known as the alimentary canal. The alimentary canal is nothing but a long tube. It extended in between your mouth and the anus. And this alimentary canal is here elaborated, expanded in some of the areas like stomach and all, in some of the areas that is narrower. And here this alimentary canal has got the various types of parts also. I'll list the parts now. And the second important part of your digestive system is associated glands or the digestive glands. These are the glands which are linked or associated with your alimentary canal, and they do here take part in the digestion mechanism by releasing the variety of juices which consist of the digestive enzymes. Whereas the parts of here the alimentary canal, it includes the first and foremost one is the mouth. The mouth, it get opens into the oral or buccal cavity, and the oral or buccal cavity later on get opens into the pharynx, that you know very well, which is the junction of the respiratory as well as the digestive tract. Thereafter, the pharynx, it leads into a long tube which passes through your neck and thoracic cavity and enter into your stomach, is nothing but esophagus. This esophagus in general is to call as the food pipe also, right? Thereafter, the esophagus get opens into your stomach. The stomach, it opens into the small intestine. The beginning of the small intestine is known as a duodenum, that followed by the jejunum, and that followed by the ileum. So the small intestine has got the three important parts. I do explain all of them in detail in the further coming sessions. Right. And coming to this small intestine, it get opens into this large intestine, and large intestine here open into here anal canal, and finally the anal canal is open into your anus. Right. So these are all the list of the parts that come across in your digestive system. Whereas the associated glands linked with your digestive system, it includes one is the salivary glands, and that followed by the gastric glands present in your stomach. And whereas here the third one is the liver, which is the biggest gland in your body, almost all 1.5 kilograms in its weight. And thereafter, when you see, it has got a pancreas. Pancreas is known as the mixed gland, since it acts like a exocrine gland as well as endocrine gland. And at last, you can see the intestinal glands, the glands present in your small intestine. So all these are here the various parts that are present in your digestive system. Now let us see the digestive system in a diagrammatic way. So all the parts you can experience here in the pictures. This is actually the human digestive system. The picture there, you can see the mouth, right? This is the beginning part of your digestive system, which is covered by the lips, which are movable and muscular structure. These lips are known as labia. Later on, this mouth is get open into the oral or buccal cavity. This part here is known as the oral or buccal cavity, into which the three important types of your salivary glands, they do get opens. So the three types of salivary glands includes sublingual salivary glands and submaxillary salivary glands as well as parotid salivary glands. Let us study more detailedly about that in further coming classes. Next, it opens into here a common passage. We call it as the pharynx. Pharynx is a common passage that you can find out here. This part. Later on it get continuous as a long tube. In general we used to call it as the food pipe. In technically it is known as esophagus, and the point is this esophagus open into here J shaped letter muscular sac, which we call it as the stomach. Then the stomach it get opens into the letter C shaped here, the beginning part of the small intestine, we call it as the duodenum. So it is a part of or the beginning of your small intestine. Later on it continues as the small intestine, and this part is known as jejunum. Then the jejunum later on get continuous, and here it is get opens into your large intestine. The portion of the small intestine where it get joins with your large intestine is known as ileum. That part you can see here, ileum. Then when you see the place of this digestive system where the small intestine joins with your large intestine, there you can see the finger like projection at its junction, we call it as here appendix. Appendix. Generally some of the cases it will be get infected and you do get a disease or a problem, health issue, that we call it as appendicitis. Appendicitis it is, right? Then it get opens into the large intestine, the place at which here it large intestine it fuse or join with a small intestine, and that area is known as cecum. It is what we call it as the cecum. And next to this you can see the large intestine continues. Here the ascending part of the large intestine is known as ascending colon, and the transfer part of this one is known as transfer colon, whereas here the descending part of this large intestine is known as descending colon. Thereafter here this again horizontally this large intestine it continues is known as important part sigmoid colon, and later on it open into again the sac like structure in which the undigested fecal matter is get stored temporarily. Thereafter this rectum is opens out through the anus, right? So these are all the parts that you can happen to see. Coming to these associated glands, as I said here, the three pairs of salivary glands are present: parotid, sublingual, submandibular. Whereas there you can see the biggest gland in our body, the liver, right? And next to that, there you can see here it is in pancreas, a gland is present, and one more important gland is also present, that we call it as the spleen. Spleen is actually not a part of your digestive system, but here I just labeled that part here. This is actually the diagrammatic picture of your digestive system. Now let us study about all the parts of this digestive system one by one in a detailed way. Right? First, I'd like to start with your mouth in a detailed way. Okay. And the first part of your digestive system is nothing but your mouth. Mouth is the opening of your digestive system. Such a kind of mouth is bounded by here freely movable muscular structures here, which are known as lips. There we have the two lips, the upper lip and lower lip, and these lips are technically known as labia, right? Labia or the technical name for the two lips, upper and lower lip. So upper lip is known as upper labia, whereas the lower lip is known as the lower labia. Clear, right? And when you see this one, actually it consists of this mouth. It consists of two important parts. One thing, one of the part is known as vestibule. Then what does this vestibule means? Actually, vestibule is a place present in your mouth in between your lips, cheeks, and teeth and gums, in between whatever the area is present, and that area is known as the vestibule. Is this clear? Vestibule is the place which you can happen to see in between lips, cheeks, and teeth and gums. In between that, the spacious place is there. That area is known as vestibule. Whereas the second part is known as oral cavity or buccal cavity. This is the area present in between actually or within the here the teeth. That means teeth gums actually covers this oral or buccal cavity all around, and here upside the palate it covers it. And lower side the floor of a oral or buccal cavity it covers. So that the internal portion is actually known as the oral cavity, or it is known as the buccal cavity. Let us see now here the oral cavity again in detail. Coming to this oral cavity, it has got the three parts again. The buccal cavity has got the three important parts. Oral cavity has got the three parts. Then coming to these three parts, the first one it includes actually the palate. That is the palate part. And the second one is the teeth. So we do have the variety of the teeth. So right, the second part it includes the teeth. Whereas the third part is actually your tongue. These are the three important parts that you can notice in your oral or the buccal cavity. Let us study about each part in a detailed way, right? As a part of that, the first one is here, there, that is a palate. We will study about that one in a detailed way. First and foremost part of the oral or buccal cavity is your palate. Then what is the palate? Palate is actually the roof of your oral or buccal cavity is actually known as the palate. That means this is the area. A roof of your oral or buccal cavity is known as the palate. That you can see here diagrammatically. So this is the front area of your mouth. There you can see. So here in your oral or buccal cavity, you can happen to see the tongue. This is the tongue, and these are your lips, within which the oral or buccal cavity you can happen to see. Now my first point is the roof of your oral cavity is known as the palate. If you see this is actually your oral cavity, then the roof portion of this oral cavity is known as the palate. And when you see this palate, actually the anterior part of the palate is here hard. It's a very hard structure. This part. Hence it is known as the hard palate. Hard palate. And here a very interesting point related to this one. Actually just at its ventral side you can see the transfer ridges on your palate. A transfer ridges are present on the ventral side of this palate. See this. Even you can experience, if you touch this here ventral side of this palate with your finger, you can see these ridges, and these ridges are known as rugae or palatine rugae. This is another important part. Here rugae or a palatine rugae. Whereas here this is very prominent in certain kind of herbivorous animals. Since they are all here ruminant animals, at the time when they are chewing, so in order to chew the grass or food plant products, actually this palatine rugae acts like a rough surface so that it scrub on the food material and make the food material into the smaller pieces. The same kind of function this palatine rugae also performs in our oral or buccal cavity, right? And next to this, the posterior part of this here palate is soft, smooth and flexible. So since it is soft in its nature, right, so that we call it as here soft palate. A soft palate it is. right? And next to this, when you see the posterior end of this soft pellet, it hangs into your pharynx. This is a part, actually, you know, this part is known as your pharynx. And here my point is, the posterior end of this soft pellet is hangs down into this pellet, and this part is actually known as uvula. Uvula, it's an important thing, right? This is actually here the oral or buccal cavity. There you can see this actually part is trachea. Trachea means actually your windpipe. This continuous pipe is your esophagus, means your food pipe. Esophagus or your food pipe. There, this is the junction of these two is actually known as the pharynx. There in the trachea, just above the trachea, you can see your voice box. This part is known as larynx. So I do explain about the trachea and larynx detailedly when I explain about your respiratory system, right? This is about here digestive system. You just restrict to this. There you can see the three here glands or get opens into this. These are actually parotid salivary glands, and here there you can see sublingual salivary glands. Thereafter submaxillary salivary glands also present. They do all get opens into this oral or buccal cavity. So that is a different matter. I will explain it later on to you. So here our part is the pellet only. So I repeat again, the roof of the oral cavity is called the pellet, and here the anterior portion of the pellet is actually hard in their nature, hence we call it as hard pellet. And next point is, it has got a transverse ridges at its ventral side. These transverse ridges are known as rugae or palatine rugae. The posterior part of the pellet, actually the smooth, right, at its terminal side, and that is actually known as the here soft pellet. Is the point clear? Soft pellet, that part is. Later on you can see this pellet is get hanged down into this the pharynx part, which we call it as uvula. Uvula, right? And there it is, uvula. This structure is known as a uvula. And this is all about the pellet. It's an important part of your the oral or buccal cavity. The next to this, actually the teeth. About the teeth we studied already in the previous class. Now I do like to explain detailedly about your tongue. The third important here, the structure in your oral or buccal cavity, right? Let us see about this tongue in a detail. Then what is this tongue? The tongue is actually freely movable muscular structure present in your oral or buccal cavity, and that is get attached to your oral here, the floor of the oral cavity with the help of a structure known as frenulum. This is an important part related to this one. It is, the tongue is actually the freely movable a muscular organ. It is get attached to the floor of your oral cavity with the help of a specialized structure. This we call it as frenulum. Frenulum. It is an important thing. Now I'd like to here explain this one diagrammatically, so it will be more clear to you, right? This is actually the structure of your the tongue. Right. On the tongue, you can see here a inverted V-shaped here furrow is present. This is actually the V shape. Inverted V shape will be like this. So the inverted V shaped here, a furrow, a depression is present on the tongue. Right, this part. So this is actually known as here sulcus terminalis. sulcus terminalis, right? And this sulcus terminalis divides this tongue into two portions, and here just above this there you can find out a portion which is actually the posterior part of the tongue. This is known as pharyngeal tongue. The posterior part of the tongue is known as pharyngeal. Tongue. Whereas the remaining part, the anterior portion of your tongue is present in your oral cavity, and this portion is actually known as oral tongue. Oral tongue. Clear? And this posterior part of the tongue, since it is very close to your pharynx, so that we do here assign a name to that like a pharyngeal tongue. Since this anterior part of the tongue, majority portion is present in your oral or a buccal cavity. That is the reason why this is known as a oral tongue. Right. When you examine it clearly here, this V-shaped furrow, sulcus terminalis, apex part is facing towards the back of the tongue. See this point. The apex part of sulcus terminalis facing towards the back of a tongue. At this area you can happen to see a depression or a pit is present. A pit is present, right? Which is known as here foramen cecum. This pit is called foramen cecum. Clear? This one. Right. When you see the free surface of the tongue, on the free surface of the tongue, you can happen to see some projections are present. These projections are actually known as papillae, right? The projections present on the surface of the tongue are known as papillae. There in the human tongue, you can find out three varieties of papillae, but whereas on the animal, actually the tongue, there you can see the 4 different types of papillae, right? Now I'd like to give you the names of these papillae that are all present on your tongue. Right at the back of the tongue, there you can see some of the papillae are present. These are all ranges from 8 to 12 in their number. And these papillae are known as valate papillae or circumvallate papillae. Valate, or it is otherwise known as circumvallate papillae. Right? And the point is they are ranges from 8 to 12 in their number. They do have got the taste buds also within them. Each this circumvallate papillae has got near about 100 taste buds within them. Right? That is one thing. Whereas the second type of papillae are present, they are all present on the middle of the tongue at its free upper surface. All these papillae are conical in their shape. They are all conical in their shape, but numerous in their number. That means more in their number. And they are all the smallest papillae on your tongue. Interesting point. Whereas they are more in their number. Then here the biggest papillae that present on your tongue are nothing but just now what I explained here are valate or circumvallate papillae. They are the biggest here papillae present on your tongue. Whereas these are the smallest papillae that are all present on your tongue. And these are known as here filiform papillae. Filiform papillae. They are more in their number. They are smallest one. But interesting point here it is, filiform papillae doesn't have any taste buds within them. It's a very important point. But this filiform papillae has got a tactile receptor. Tactile receptors are actually helps for identification of sensation of touch. Right? That is what we call it as here filiform papillae. Clear? Right. Coming to the third type of papillae, they are known as fungiform papillae. These fungiform papillae are actually round in their structure. They are present here. Round in their structure, present at the edge of the tongue. Like this, all these are present. Are they visible to you? Clear? Right. This is what we call it as here the fungiform papillae, which is the third one. Fungiform papillae. P stands for papillae, right? And coming to these fungiform papillae, these are larger than the filiform papillae but smaller than this circumvallate papillae. Keep it in mind, right? And they are more than in number these circumvallate papillae, less than in number with these filiform papillae. They are round in their shape. More number of these fungiform papillae are present at the tip of your tongue. Clear? Tip of the tongue, they are all present. They do have got even the taste buds, and these taste buds are ranging from 4 to 5 in their number, but the taste buds within the circumvallate papillae are 100 in their number, whereas here they do have got the taste buds, but the taste buds are here lesser in their number, right? This is about the third important type of here the papillae present on your tongue, right? Coming to the another important here type of papillae, you can see at the back of the tongue, either edges of the tongue, there you can see here they're all vertical in their here shape, just like a leaves, such a kind of papillae are present. So these are all leaf like structures, and their number ranges here 4 or 5 in their number, and these are actually known as foliate papillae. A foliate papillae, they are leaf-like structures. On each side, their number ranges from 4 to 5 in their number. They do have what a taste buds, but interesting point related to that, at the childhood itself, the taste buds present within them are get disintegrated, right? So this is about the third type, or sorry, the fourth type of here the papillae present on your tongue. Whereas when you see at the back of this one, you can see here some of the tonsils are present. Variety of tonsils are present in your oral or buccal cavity. So I do explain about all these tonsils when I explain about pharynx in a detailed way. You do come to know about all these, and their structures you can see, and this part is actually known as lingual tonsils. Lingual tonsils. This is all about your tongue and the structure of the tongue. Clear? Better you have a snapshot so that I do explain all these points once again to you in a here theory way, right? It's a diagrammatic explanation. I do repeat once again that parts to you here. This is actually a freewheel movable muscular organ get attached to the floor of your here oral cavity with the help of a specialized part. We call it as frenulum. This is the portion we call it as here frenulum. With this part it get attaches. On its surface, a inverted V-shaped here, the furrow is present, which we call it as sulcus terminalis. The sulcus terminalis divides your tongue into posterior pharyngeal tongue, anterior oral tongue. At the apex of this sulcus terminalis, right, which is facing backward, there you can see one depression is present, which we call it as here foramen cecum. On the free surface of the tongue, you can see some projections, which we call them as here the papillae. These papillae are of 4 types, right? When you see this one, they includes here vellate papillae, filiform papillae, fungal papillae, fungiform papillae, thereafter foliate papillae, right? And they do have got the taste buds also within them, right? So I do here explain all the points. So I am about to rough this one now. See the points here, what I explained already here, displaying on the board. Here they are known as the small projections that are all present on your tongue are together known as the papillae. Projections present on your tongue. And here some of the papillae, but not all, has got the taste buds on it. And next to this, example for such a kind of papillae which have got a taste buds, just now I explained, one is circumvallate papillae, and the second one is the fungiform papillae, and the third one is the foliate papillae. Clear? It is one thing. Next, whereas here filiform papillae doesn't have any taste buds. I said they do have got the tactile receptors on them. The next part is the V-shaped, inverted V-shaped furrow is present, which we call it as here sulcus terminalis, that part. It divides your tongue into anterior oral part and here the posterior pharyngeal part, right? And thereafter at the apex of sulcus terminalis you can happen to see a depression which we call it as the foramen cecum. Just now I said this point. And next to this, when you see this papillae, they're all here. The four different types of papillae are there. And these four types of papillae, it includes, as I said, vallate or circumvallate papillae. Second one is a filiform papillae. And third one is fungiform as well as the foliate papillae. Right? Better have a snapshot so that you can get a theory matter also. Right? And next to this, you can see the vallate papillae. Just now I said that these vallate papillae actually they are bigger in their size. They are the biggest papillae, almost all 8 to 12 in their number, and they are actually each one consists of 100 taste buds. Right? There you can see they are the largest type of the papillae among the four types of papillae. Next one is filiform papillae. When you see this one, they are the smallest among the four, but more numerous in their number, right? Comparatively remaining four, right? Actually, they are conical in their shape, structure, right? And that too, they are present at the center of your tongue. Right? An interesting point related to that, these papillae contain tactile receptors. These tactile receptors helps for identification the sensation of touch. Right? But they do not have any taste buds. It is an important point. Taste buds are not present in this type of papillae. Right? Coming to the third type of papillae is fungiform papillae. These fungiform papillae are larger than the filiform papillae but smaller than here the circumvallate papillae. This is one important thing. And next point is they are here most numerous near the tip of your tongue. The tip of your tongue, they are most numerous, more in their number. It consists of the taste buds. They do consist of here 5 in their number. Near about 5 number of taste buds are present in this type of papillae. Right? Next one is foliate papillae. It is the last type, fourth type of papillae. It is just like a leaf-like structure, and they are here not developed in a human body. But I explained that on a tongue, but not much developed in a human body. And next one is here they are leaf-like structures and situated at the side of the tongue. The side of your tongue, they all get located. And next to this, they do have got taste buds, and they are 4 to 5 in their number at each side of your tongue. At each side of the tongue, they are 4 to 5 in their number. Thing is here, they do disintegrate, not here, last here throughout your life, at your childhood. The taste buds present within that, particularly the taste buds present within that disintegrate at your childhood itself, right? So this is all about the 4 different types of the papillae that are all present on the free surface of your tongue. Clear? Better you have a snapshot regarding that. You do get the theory matter related to this one also. Clear? Right. I do switch over to the next part, that is the functions of your tongue. What are the various types of functions that are all carried out by your tongue in a detailed way? Let us see now. So before I get into these functions of your tongue, I'd like to give you even the structure of your taste bud also. So this is actually the structure of your tongue. Just now what I explained here. So various types of the parts within that. Here it is actually, these are circumvallate papillae that you can see clearly. Thereafter the fungiform papillae are present at the border of your tongue, but they are more in their number at the tip of the tongue. There you can see here at the center of your tongue, you can find out the filiform papillae. And here it is clearly mentioned, they are all foliate papillae. They are not well developed here in the human beings. This is an important thing. Right, coming to here, on these papillae, there you can happen to see the taste bud. See, this point is actually the very important structure. It is not visible. Here, not available in your textbook. This is actually here the surface of your tongue. This part is the surface of your tongue. It has got a opening and a papillae. This is actually known as taste pore. Taste pore, through which actually the liquid form of the food it enter into the taste bud. This is the taste bud. The taste bud is actually made up of two different type of cells. One type of cell is known as this one, which is red in the color here, gustatory cell. Gustatory cell. This gustatory cell is actually supported by some other types of cells. These are all which are known as supporting cells. These are called the supporting cells. Right, when you see this one at its here, the posterior side at the bottom of these taste bud, it is supplied with a cranial nerve fibers. The cranial nerve fibers are linked with your here gustatory cell as well as the supporting cells of your taste bud. Whenever the food substance, when it is get mixed with your saliva, turns into the liquid form, then here the liquid food material it enter into this here taste bud. So the chemical nature of the food material will be get identified by these gustatory cells and the supporting cells. Meanwhile, these gustatory cells, they do here releases or stimulate and produce the stimuli. These stimuli are taken up by the cranial nerves and take it to your brain actually. There are here specialized places are there in your brain which are here are able to identify the sensation of the taste. This is all about actually your taste bud. Now let us see the functions of your tongue so that we can conclude this concept today. Now the functions of your tongue, then what are its function? The first and the foremost important function of your tongue, it actually helps for the speech. So since the beginning of this class, I have been teaching continuously so that it helps for the here speaking. It helps for producing of here the sounds. If I hold my tongue, if I try to here tell my name, I cannot do it. So it actually helps for the speech is one thing. Thereafter, this tongue, it actually helps for mixing the saliva here with the food material during the mastication time. It's the one important thing. And thereafter, the tongue even it helps for the swelling of the food material. It's a very interesting thing if you can observe it. Without here pushing the tongue here against the pellet, it is not possible to us to swallow the food material. So that entirely process, swallowing technically known as degglutination. So degglutination process actually takes place because of your tongue. So this is an important thing. This degglutination is possible because of that. So since I just now here said that here there are a lot of taste buds are present on your tongue surface which helps for identification of the taste of the food material. So the tongue even it helps in identification of your taste of the food material also, right? This is another important thing. And here very interesting point related to this. It is not related to the human beings, but you observe this one. In the animals like dogs, the tongue it acts like a thermoregulator organ. The body temperature will be regulated by the tongue of the dog itself. During the summer season, when the temperature is too high, there you might have happened to see that the dog, it keeps its tongue out of its mouth, and the saliva it here drops off the tongue. Now, do you know that actually the mechanism of regulating the body temperature of the dog? So it is a very interesting function of the tongue in particularly the dogs, but not in the human beings. Our body regulatory organ in the human beings is nothing but the skin, but not here the organ like tongue. So that is an important thing. And whereas the tongue at last, finally, it acts like a universal toothbrush. So generally during the morning and even night time only you do brush your teeth. Then during the entire daytime we used to take food material, where the food is get trapped in between your here teeth and gums and all. Then how do you clean your teeth all the time during the daytime? So actually nothing but your tongue itself. So the tongue, it acts like a universal toothbrush. It helps for cleaning your teeth as well as entire oral or buccal cavity, right? These are all actually the functions of your tongue. So this is all about the mouth part, right? I hope you all get detailed information regarding your mouth, and which includes actually the palate, tongue as well as the teeth. In the coming session, I'll explain in detail about the next part of your tongue, the digestive system, nothing but the pharynx and all. Thank you all. Till that time, enjoy.